sauce middle.
Calm down, calm down.
There's a lot that they can do, and I feel like I don't know who is writing the anime stuff because whoever's doing it, it's the most bland, basic
It's so boring.
things you could.
They need to be
possibly
fired. I don't
do.
give a frick who it is.
Sorry,
Get 'em
this
out.
is distracting again. I just had a
Freaking
mind-blown
boring.
moment. What if
Yeah.
they travel to America and go up the next tower there, and they've got like the Hasbro Stadium in it instead of like a smaller, like
I don't know, no.
skinny
If they
version
come to
of.
America and they go up the towers, there's too many opportunities for bad jokes.
That was gonna be more PG-13
There's
too.
enough bad jokes as is.
We're
Yeah,
gonna see the
exactly.
return of
So
the
it
gun
starts with them
launcher.
landing at the American
Elon
X Tower, but
Musk
they're crashing
owns the
into it.
No.
Okay.
We're gonna see the return of the gun launcher from Plastic Gin as soon as I go to the US.
I miss those so much.
Yeah, but
I
they'll only
think
be in the schools.
They need to do an international.
No.
I will say this: Plastic Gen was by far the most creative.
Freaking
Plastic Gen had the most creativity with it. They had the craziest stadiums, the craziest Bay mods, the craziest Beyblades, the craziest launchers. Like, it was, you never knew what to expect. And I really wish they would bring that back to a degree.
Well, it kept it interesting for sure, especially with like the diorama stadiums and stuff. Like they'd be in the
Yeah.
White House, or Eiffel Tower, or something. It was cool. It was fun to watch.
Was there ever a 2000 like a pre-01 New York stadium that they did? Just curious.
No, I fell down.
It's probably something similar. They definitely did like urban landscape stadiums.
Interesting. Yeah, it would be.
I think the
I
reason
was just
why
wondering.
Metal's gonna do a new series recreating like OG Plastic Gen stadiums.
I think the reason why they
Maybe.
moved away from doing kind of crazy stuff like that is because it became more of an advertisement, right? Like a lot of the stuff, like they can't sell a bazooka launcher, they can't sell the sniper
Yes, they
launcher.
could.
They
Right
can't
here.
really do
I'll take
that.
one.
So now,
I mean,
all the
they
stuff
own
that you
Nerf.
see-
Collab with
They
Nerf.
own
Wait,
Nerf.
collab with
So
Nerf.
Hasbro owns Nerf. I think it's possible.
Guns.
Yeah.
Hold on, where is
They
it?
can mix it. They
I
can
mean-
mix it in.
Is it a
we
freaking
got,
Nerf
like-
gun that shoots bays?
You know,
I mean, that's
we got.
Yeah, there was the Bay Blaster from Military
Yeah,
that was just a Bay gun.
Yeah,
So,
but
I mean, it's,
so
People would buy it.
yeah, it does.
But
I'd
It's
buy it.
plausible.
there's
I
a
think
you're right,
limit.
It's plausible for
stadiums
sure.
but
There's a
you
limit
chose
on
the wrong
the-
example with the bazooka because we all
There's a
want that.
limit on the craziness because it's got to sell everything that they show, especially for X. Everything they show is like a product you can buy, pretty much.
Yeah.
And because it's just an advertisement. Meanwhile, I think
Except
for the
Plastic
anime
Gin,
stadium.
Plastic
Bro.
Gin, it seemed like the toy line was like an accessory, or it was like a companion to the show, right?
Yeah.
Now
Yes.
the anime is an advertisement for
Right.
That's
for the
Yeah,
toy
true,
line.
but it didn't like affect sales. Like it sold super well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think that it's like some backwards idea where it's like, hey, this is the perfect time for us to advertise the motorized stadium because people will see it in the show and then go buy it in real life. When really, if you make a compelling TV show that more people are going to be actively involved in, then they're going to go and buy the product anyway. Yeah, it is hard, but Plastic Gin is so well remembered and like
yeah.
even now because of that's how creative it was.
Yeah.
And the
for sure.
music. Oh my god, dude, the music.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
Bro.
Wait, the dub music or the sub music? Because I'm just gonna say it right now. Most of the dub songs are garbage.
Ah, bro, I love the dub
Nah,
songs.
the
I
dub
love
the
dub
dub
songs.
ones have like a style, like I don't know.
It's
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yo,
funky
move!
style of like the early
Dude,
2000s
I
that
would
was
listen
like
to, I remember like freshman year, I would listen to like the Beyblade Plastic Gen playlist on Spotify, like while on
let's
the bus.
go.
Low-key, that stuff went crazy, dude.
That early, even like Yu-Gi-Oh, like that early 2000s punk
Exactly, yeah.
sort of move
yeah.
was so.
Yeah,
I don't
was
know
so
why.
Good.
I
Yeah,
feel
man,
like
it's so
how
good.
in the
Swing
first
down,
series,
swing low.
Yeah, I feel like how in,
Swing
like,
Now, Swing Low is not good. I'm sorry, I do not like Swing Now, Swing
Fuck
Low.
you. You can suck
Literally,
it.
the whole
alright.
time in this conversation, Swing Low's been
I-
playing in my head.
I think
The sub music though for G-Rev was so
oh my
good.
god, dude, that was crazy. I feel like
T-Rex Sub was
Oh, keep going.
there's something
T-Rex Sub
about,
might be
like,
my favorite season.
there's also something about like how in the first series how all the Beys are like hand drawn.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
season 1.
Like,
Oh,
dude,
loved it.
I like that a lot. I do like
Yeah.
that.
I did.
The movement.
Yeah, it
Oh.
almost enhanced that sort of like early 2000s feel. That
I
you were
like
talking
CGI
about.
Bays
Yeah.
more. I'm sorry.
That-
I
I
can't do
like-
it.
That's quite
I
It's
like
depends.
CGI.
I like-
They
The
peaked
one
in
thing
season
about
1 version.
CGI, the one thing about CGI versus like hand drawn, I don't think they should go back to hand drawn, but you definitely lose the ability to stretch physics.
Yeah.
Whereas like with anime and with animation in general, there's a lot of like exaggerated movements and
It's like those
animation
mid-frames, right?
frames.
Like what they're called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they called? I forgot what they're called.
Midichlorians?
No.
It's like,
No.
it's essentially like the in-between frames, the animation
Between
frames, two
frames,
frames, like that stretch out the animation that really stylizes it. I think that while I don't think the first season is like aged super well with some of the animations. I mean, it's a little low frame rate. I definitely think you lose something when like you can't stretch the animation in the same way, especially with like battle stuff.
What do you mean?
Well,
season
yeah.
one didn't
Hand-drawn
age well?
Beyblade
And-
animated on 7s. It'd just be so beautiful.
What do you mean season 1 didn't
Oh.
age well? Andrew's the best designed first character.
Oh my
No, I
God.
just mean like the frame rate. There's definitely
Right,
a
yeah,
point
but-
where like you know
Yeah.
there'll be like 3 frames.
Andrew's
loose and
anatomically
no
sound.
frame rate.
I think like the CGI aspect, it's only like the stadiums and like the bays themselves, right? So they could still do those better in between. And I think you even mentioned that in one of your earlier kind of like anime reviews, is that those in between animations it's kind of like a problem with just the characters, like throughout Beyblade X in general. So I guess what I'm trying to say, I don't know if I'm making any sense, but they could still have those elements, but I think there's like a choreography problem or something to where even if some of the like I think like the Dragonic break and I think all that looked good, but I think there's an issue with choreography being a problem. Like even like Beyblade Burst, even the later seasons, but especially like season 3, whenever Fi was on screen battling, like his movements were cool, the camera angles were cool. We saw some like JoJo-esque stances, but not as exaggerated. Meanwhile, for Beyblade
Not as
X,
suggestive.
it's just Bird like clenching his fist or something. Like it's not nearly as exciting. But I'm seeing, I saw some stuff in the teaser I liked for season 2.
The
so.
characters are. I think one of the other issues is the characters are pretty much removed from the battles, so they're always cut away from what's actually happening in the stadium. You don't really see the two happening at the same time. Like you don't see a character bring Beyblade almost ever. And unless you get knocked out, you see them fly by their head or something. But there's like this detachment from what's actually in the stadium, and then like there's a lot of recycled animation for the battles, and then they'll just overlay some fancy effects or something. So it feels like there's less time spent actually, like you said, doing sort of choreography or animation or whatever for the battles. Just it gets after 50 episodes. That's one of my biggest issues with Burst. It's like the battles, like they got better over time, but they can be pretty boring to watch sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
I'm
one
not
of the
gonna
things I
kid
noticed
myself.
a lot about season 1 of X was that there was so many times where they would have exposition, but it wouldn't really be like during a battle, and then it just felt like the battle was kind of an afterthought. And then mixed in with reusing animations and very stale choreography for the most part, especially later in the game, like it felt so disconnected. And I miss when like you would get the exposition on this Beyblade as it was spinning, and they would show it in the battle where it was relevant.
And
Like we are talking about the hand-drawn animation earlier, and like I'm not going to kid myself, they reused a lot of clips in that first season during battles because you'd have like the cut to adverts and stuff like that, and obviously time-consuming doing the hand-drawn stuff. And I think CG for the original series stopped them from repeating so many clips during battles.
Yeah.
Because it was quicker to produce. So I think that's the positive side of using the CG animated battles. But with X, they're
Now they're
having their
reusing
cake and
that
eating
stuff.
it, you know?
Yeah. Something else that kind of bothers me about X, and this is more, I think it's just the style, the show, and I don't think it's going to change. And some people might disagree with me, but it's so muted in its color scheme too. Especially those early episodes, like everything, it's like they added a gray filter to it and set it to like 10%. Like it feels everything's very gray. First might have been too colorful and too much, but I don't know. Like X is just very.
It feels a bit faded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it feels like it wants to be colorful, almost. At least from what I've seen. If that makes any sense.
The opening and endings, like you get to see, like
Yeah.
like I really wish they would like spend as much time like investing in sort of like the coloring and the backgrounds as they do in the opening and endings, because they look so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the new ending. Dude, the new ending for season 2.
Dude, what a banger.
I don't know. It's kind of mid
great.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
opinion.
The like
Just confirmed it's good.
Like dance moves, I'm like not that into, but that's just.
Dude, I love that. It's like I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard it's like the same choreographer or like director that did the dancing one of Jujutsu Kaisen. And that that outro of Jujutsu Kaisen was great.
Oh man.
I don't like this.
Paradise. I love the song. I love everything.
Yep.
Oh man, I loved everything about that. Like that just made, because it's such a dark and like miserable story, and just popping straight into that afterwards is just like every episode.
An episode ends with like some massive like SCP level event basically, or like a character just like sucked on like 4 of Sukuna's fingers, and you're like, oh my god, there's gonna be a big power up, and then it just goes to you gotta keep it going. Yeah. Like with these characters dancing, and it's just okay. I like it's fine. It reminds me of Baypop from Beyblade.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Everybody Baypop. I love that outro.
Yeah, that song's peak, so it's fine.
I love that outro. I don't like the new intro though, or specifically the song. Like I like Prove way more, and I don't know how they're gonna do it, because they Prove is like, I don't know if there's like an English version or like a lot of the song is in English, but they use that same intro for here for the Hasbro, like the Western version, right?
Or dub, yeah.
And I don't think they're gonna do that, because now it's like a standard, like kind of a more typical Japanese anime intro sound, I think. And I don't know how that's gonna translate over here in the West. So are they gonna
just get a
Prove
dude
again?
and his electric guitar to make
They just bring back the US Plastic Gen song again. Let's Beyblade. I wouldn't mind
Well,
that.
they do like a
I would love that.
2024 redux of that.
Oh, that'd be hype.
Version.
Yeah, that'd be badass. Actually.
One OK Rock usually do English versions of their songs, but I don't know if they did one, like a full English version for Peru.
I think I saw something. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but I thought I remember seeing an English one for
They
Peru.
did an English one approved.
You know, I actually still don't understand why they cut parts of the intro for the dubbed X. You know that? Like they basically cut it.
Yeah, they cut it down.
It's like they're saying.
That's just what they do though. They don't.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Have the
Yeah,
whole
it's
thing.
the American version
they
is
cut down?
like considerably shorter.
Oh, they cut down the length of the intro?
Yeah,
It's usually like what, 30
with,
seconds?
Commercial times and
Probably a
stuff like that.
timing thing for
Yeah.
Western television, like the slots or whatever.
Yeah.
You also need to keep the pace up, and watching a whole like intro, it looks cool, but if it's like the 30th time you've seen it, you know, eventually it's okay. Can it be a little shorter?
Not for
Can you
me.
skip
It's like-
I watch
It's like with the first.
like every time.
We do not skip intros
Yeah,
in this
but-
household, okay?
I don't
American
skip
kids have-
intros
That's the problem.
unless it's a terrible intro. I don't skip it. I just watch.
Yeah, that's
it.
just the weeb in you.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
The Western audience watching terrestrial TV probably don't have the same sensibilities.
Yeah, like
as a
I can't
with
fault.
Burst, their openings were short, except like they upload the full thing, but during the show it was cut down.
But
I
I gotta hop off.
Deltas.
I gotta.
Thank you. Thanks for watching the awards. I appreciate it.
Of
Yes.
course.
Always a
Mim,
pleasure
if you
chatting
need-
with you, Jake.
Of course. Mim, or if anybody needs like any footage from me or from my, I think I like delisted or I privated my stream because I need to cut some parts out of it at the beginning. But once that's fixed, anybody's free to use that live
Just talking
stream
shit
or
on him.
if they want like footage to some degree, they can use it, whatever. 'Cause I know, Mim, are you gonna make like a compilation, like a reaction compilation?
Something like that, yeah. That's the idea. If I could get the
Oh, shit.
unlisted stream or something like that.
Yeah.
Me and Blade were just talking shit the entire time.
Sherry was talking shit.
Not
the
only
entire
just
time
about
on my
Mim, though.
server.
I mean, to be fair, we left
rigged
Juice
guy.
alone for half, for like the
Yeah.
majority of it on the iPad.
The 20 email addresses, Sky.
Hey, yo, I don't know about that one.
But it was good
The
talking to
first
you
few
guys.
awards you won was like,
Yeah.
sus.
And like anyone who didn't win is like, I'll be accepting this on their behalf.
Yeah. Another thing I do want to mention about the anime, and this isn't necessarily the fault of the studio because they were pressed for time on this one, but I really do hope they fill out the world a little more because especially in those early episodes, there's like only a handful, if not zero, other characters than the ones that are relevant to the scene on screen. There's not like people rushing around the Bay Stadium. There's not crowds as much. I kind of missed that. I hope they bring more of that into season 2.
I kind of focused on the characters a lot more than the crowds.
That really bothered me in the first few episodes. Like the world felt so dead. Like you'd see them in the city and there wouldn't be like anybody in the background, or they went and filmed that YouTube video or whatever in the coffee shop and there's like nobody in it. And I'm like, where is everybody?
Yeah. I remember
At least
seeing
there
on
were
Twitter.
birds flying in the air.
Yeah. I remember
At least
on
there was
Twitter,
that.
it was like, I remember seeing on Twitter, there was like a picture of like, I think it was like Multi's desk or something like that. And in the manga, there's like a bunch of crap on it. But then in the anime, it was like completely clean.
She had
It
plushies
has,
of like
little
the
things,
Bit Beasts,
you know what I mean?
of the original
Yeah.
Sacred Beasts on a desk.
Oh.
And in the anime,
Yeah,
it's
right.
nothing.
Bro, like those
Yeah, it
animators
just-
had to make like 51 episodes out of what at the time was like 2 issues of the manga. They were just like, if it doesn't have to be in there for the story, they were like, nope, not drawing it.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can't fault the studio on it, but at the same time, like, there is a level of dystopian lifelessness that I sort of get from season 1 of
Like-
X, which is
like Wallace and Gromit.
uncomfortable and sometimes.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that part of it is that like maybe the first season was low budget because they weren't maybe they were projected for it to not do as well. Because like I know when the products actually launched, they said like the sales super exceeded their expectations. So maybe the anime budget was pretty low. Maybe second season.
Man, it
was
makes
up
sense.
a bit.
Hasbro, like the stock of Hasbro was extremely down by the time Beyblade X came out. Like they
It was
were,
getting bought. I haven't found any Wave 2 boosters anywhere. Like, I went to 3
Bro.
stores today, nothing.
Bro,
They
like
were either
my
all just
experience of
season
finding
1.
Hasbro in the UK was pretty abysmal. Like
Yeah.
most of the stores that were meant to have it had a couple things,
Bro.
like some of the season 1 started, like the Wave 1 starters and stuff.
Or
and,
Zuma.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, I haven't found any Wave 2 stuff aside from the collab stuff, like the Iron Man crap or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't found any, I haven't found Leon Claw, like any of the Wave 2 stuff yet. So I'm hoping that happens.
Oh, wow.
Damn, I
I thought it was out
everything
everywhere
Wave
for you
2.
guys.
No, it is very limited. Like, some areas will get it. Like,
Shit.
Texas, I've heard, has a lot of stuff. There are some places, like, every now and then, they'll crop up with things, but it either gets bought out really quick and they don't restock, or they just run out, which
Yeah,
really
'cause I-
sucks.
We're only
I
just
do-
now getting stock slowly come in, but like not everywhere.
Stuff
Yeah,
seems
I mean-
to be selling relatively well, so that's good. I'm just hoping that Wave
Yeah.
2 comes pretty quick. I know that the GameStop events that happened today, some people were saying some were canceled, but I know the ones in my
Really?
area
Yeah.
like did pretty well, and I know a couple of the ones in Texas like were like tapped out to the point where they had to do like multiple rounds and stuff. So that's good.
There was a place in Jersey that had, like, a line, and I was so pissed because Zesty texted me, he's like, yo, there's a place in Jersey that has a line and they want an influencer there. And I'm like, I have to be away this weekend. The one time. But I mean, I did hear about places like canceling their events and whatnot, which kind of sucked. But I mean,
Yeah, but
it sounded like there were places that really got heavy traffic, which is a good thing.
Oh, man. Honestly, after my time there, anything that can hopefully help Hasbro encourage them to do some stuff for you guys, because I would be going crazy right now if I was still in the UK trying to do Beyblade stuff and I didn't have access to like the TT stuff, because there's just nothing around for the Hasbro like scene really. There's like a couple small LGSs trying to put on like some locals once a week, like, which is great, and like that needs to be like done for it to grow on like the underground. But there's zero support from WotC at the moment there, like even the companion app, you have to run tournaments through it, and that's abysmal. Yeah, I'd be going crazy if I was as hyped on Beyblade as I am, and I was stuck there trying to find stuff. I'd be pulling my hair out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, my GameStop doesn't even have Beyblade X, even though I called them and they said that.
Well, not even Wave 1.
No, not even Wave 1.
Wow.
They said that it was in their system and they were supposed to be shipping it to them, but every single time I called them, they're like, nope,